Hey beauty babes, welcome to the Good Hair Podcast. My name is Shannon Goode and I'm a hair-obsessed beauty artist with a crazy passion for helping salons and freelancers build the business of their dreams. I went from struggling in the salon to living the life I had always dreamed of as a beauty artist, calling my own shots. Now I'm traveling more than ever and doing exactly what I want to do. This is your time. Now is the time to take control of your path, climb out from under the social gravity of the cookie cutter life, and do what you have always wanted to do. I truly believe that investing in yourself is where great success embraces you. Let's do this together. Good morning, everyone. I want to talk to you today on something a little bit personal and, something that will hopefully be helpful. It may strike a chord with you and it may not, but I know that me and my friends talk about it quite a bit and have noticed it, in our community. And so I just wanted to address it a little bit. And that is anxiety as a creative mind. That's just something that isn't well talked about. And I think it's just a really big deal in creative minds in general, right? Like, I think as a creative mind, we just have so much pressure on it, or we feel so much pressure, right? To create and to always be on the cutting edge. And, there's just all of these thought processes that run through our minds constantly, it seems like. And I just wanted to talk about that and get a little bit personal about it. Quite honestly, I'm not afraid to talk about pretty much anything. I'm not shy about just bringing up topics that a lot of people can be a little more afraid to talk about. And I just think it opens up the door, right? Why not talk about it? It just helps. And that's just one of the great benefits of connecting to people in your community is being able to talk about these things that you possibly have in common. And I'm not saying that every creative mind has anxiety, but I do think it's pretty common. And so let's just kind of go over it a little bit. So many of us struggle with anxiety in the creative world, right? The pressure of, like, for instance, when you're in the wedding and bridal community, you're meeting new brides all the time and their family and their friends and just their whole entourage, right? And sometimes you don't know what you're going to walk into, but I will have to say, like, it has been really healing for me to be exposed to all different cultures and all different types of people, and just not necessarily feeling like I have to be perfect all the time for all of these people, or that I just have to be everything that they've ever dreamed of. I think it's really important to just be who you are and owning that, right? And not trying to be somebody that everybody wants you to be. I think that in itself can create high anxiety. And that's so crazy. Like, that's just the world that we live in, right? With social media and everything, there's such a standard out there for, just creativity. And it's like, it's just hard to kind of keep up with that, So I think just being who you are and owning who you are and being confident in that is a choice that we make. And I don't know, looking back, this was such a turning point in my life. When I turned 30, I just feel like something happened where my whole life changed. And I started to realize that, confidence in itself is a choice, or being anxious about something is a choice. And so, you can choose to be really anxious about a situation, or you can choose to just let it happen. Whatever happens, happens. You're not going to be able to change it by thinking about it anyways, and choosing to be confident about something can be so powerful, and not hanging your hat on what ifs, you know, like what if this happens or what if that happens? I mean, goodness, just think of the stress that we put on ourselves with all of these situations. And, you know, working with clients, and especially, you know, in the industry that we're in, a lot of our clients are under a lot of pressure. You know, I have people tell me all the time, oh, this is my first wedding. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to plan it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's really common and that's okay. Like, it doesn't have to be, you know, this gorgeous Pinterest perfection. Like, it needs to be all about you. That's what a wedding day is, right? And you, as a creative, were hired because of the type of work that you do. So owning that and just feeling comfortable in that, I think, is so helpful. But also knowing that your client is under a lot of stress, right? And I think that for me is maybe one of the biggest things that gives me anxiety, is because I never know what I'm walking into. You know, whether it's a hair trial or a wedding day, it's like, okay, who is this person? What are their expectations? Can I meet their expectations? Am I going to be good enough? You know, it's sort of this imposter syndrome as a creative that is such a big thing, right? Imposter syndrome is where you feel like that you're not good enough at what you do. Oh no, like they've hired me and now I have to perform. You know, they think I'm going to be really good and oh, what if I'm not? You know, but I think just standing tall and standing firm in who you are is everything. Walking into a situation with confidence can make or break. You know, like you can walk in with confidence and maybe not create the best work, but have a client for life because of the way you come across. Or you can walk in and feel really discouraged and overwhelmed and you know, but maybe create the best work, but that doesn't always translate over to your client, right? They're kind of like, oh, that's a little off-putting when you're not super confident. So fake it until you make it if you have to. I mean, you know, sometimes that's just where we are. We are creative minds, and sometimes that can mean a lot of anxiety builds up just because you never know. Like, I always approach a wedding day with worst case scenario. Like, I'm going to walk in expecting the worst because then I feel like I am more prepared. And that may not be the best way to do it, but that's how I deal with it best. So I walk in expecting everybody's probably still sound asleep. I'm probably going to have to wake everybody up, and I'm going to have to really get them motivated to sit in my chair so we can get started. And then it is such a beautiful thing when most of the time I walk in and everybody's awake and they have their coffee and they're being cute and talking and music is playing and it's just a fun environment, you know. But as soon as I expect that to happen, just the opposite's going to happen where everybody's still in bed, the lights are out. Do you know, one time I walked into a situation that was so funny. It was over toward the Hocking Hills area, which I'm here in Ohio. So Hocking Hills is sort of like, I don't know, is it a national park? It's a metro park. It's something like that. And they have weddings in these cabins over there. And so it was like early morning. I don't know. It was still dark outside. And, you know, I ring the doorbell. Nobody answers. Ring the doorbell again. And somebody stumbles to the door and they let me in. Okay. And there's like people sleeping everywhere. And here I am, bright and bubbly, you know, and no lights are on. And the front door is closed and it's dark. And I'm like standing there and I'm thinking, okay, hello. Because whoever let me in the door, they went back into the bedroom and left me there. No lights on, no nothing. And I'm like, that is terribly rude. Like, okay. And so I stood there for a minute because I was shocked. And I just spoke up and I was like, hello, is anybody awake? Can we get lights on in here? Like, I can't even see, you know, and that was probably not the nicest thing for me to do, but I was just kind of like, how rude. Like, you guys knew I was going to be here. You just let me into this dark house and there's people sleeping all around me, super awkward. But I mean, you just never know what you're going to walk into. So, of course, that's going to create sort of anxiety in the future, right? Because you just never really know. But, anyways, I mean, wherever your anxiety comes from, just know that it's normal and it's natural. I mean, think about like even big personalities or famous people, right? Like Robin Williams. I mean, we learned that he had so much anxiety, and it just seems to be really um, running rampant in the creative industry. Whatever creative mind you are, anxiety seems to be a really big thing with that. So, like Jim Carrey, I mean, he suffers from great anxiety. All of these creative, even famous people, we all have that in common. And so, just finding a way to deal with that and being proactive, it's huge. And it'll help you to not get burnout and to just really enjoy what you do. And I'm so passionate about sort of sharing that with the community and letting people know that you don't have to just give in to these things. You can take charge of your life and be happy and lead a really awesome life, and it's totally worth it. And, I mean, um, looking back, I have to be really honest. Once again, I'm just being so transparent today and just letting you in on this piece of my life that um, is sometimes a little crippling, but I don't let it own me. But sometimes I think to myself, oh, it's like, yeah, I'm doing really great today. And yeah, I have weddings on my book for the year, but are they going to like me tomorrow? Like, am I going to book weddings next year? And I hear that from a lot of my friends in the industry. We all get scared every single year. I mean, I've been doing just specifically weddings for about 11 years at this point, and maybe a little more than 11 years, but it doesn't really matter. But I am still at that point where I'm like, are they gonna like me next year? Am I really good enough? It's like this whole imposter syndrome. Like, who am I trying to be? I mean, I remember being young and thinking, how cool would it be to be a famous hairstylist or whatever, right? Like, look at those people that get to work with movie stars and famous people. Like, that's amazing, but it seems so out of reach. But quite honestly, no matter where you live, you have that opportunity. And I mean, I've had some really great opportunities that have come my way, and I'm so grateful for them. Like working with people like Andrea Mitchell from MSNBC or Jack Hanna or the production team from the movie The Interview. I mean, oh my goodness. I've Jennifer Weiner, who is an author and New York Times bestseller. I mean, goodness, I could go on, and it's just been so amazing to be able to work with such awesome people. But what it really comes down to is we're all just human beings, right? I mean, what's the big deal? Like, you are, like Jack Hanna, you are a human being just living your life and doing what you love. Just like I am a human being doing what I love and living my life. It's so funny how we can put people up on a pedestal and try to make them like superhuman, but really we're all so much the same. And just as creative minds, I have seen like from famous people and people trying to make it in this world and established people and businesses, like anxiety just seems to be something that is a shared sort of struggle. Isn't that sad? But at the same time, like just knowing that we can change that is everything. And so, I mean, not being so worried about, am I good enough? Because people are not going to hire you unless you're good enough. Okay. And so be confident in yourselves, people. I mean, if there's one thing we have, it's that we can choose to feel how we want to feel. It really comes down to being a choice. And so I just want to encourage you to be strong and do what you can do to get a hand on anxiety. And quite honestly, I'm such a woo-woo person, and I'm all about like whatever makes me be able to be more free-minded and easygoing. So I personally love to meditate, and I heard not that long ago that most successful people, as in like Richard Branson or whoever, like, these people that make millions and billions of dollars, Oprah Winfrey, they all meditate. And I will just tell you, like, whether you have 5 minutes or you have an hour, it is the most freeing, beautiful thing to just meditate. And I personally love a guided meditation. So sometimes, I have my go-to meditations that I really like, but sometimes I'll just go to YouTube and I'll be like, search something like best meditation for relaxation, or best meditation for anxiety, or best meditation for decision making, and it's just amazing to close down your mind, relax your body, and just be alive. I'm telling you, you've got to try it. Try it one time and just see. You may not have the most spiritual experience that first time. Sometimes it takes practice to shut down your mind and to just not even allow yourself to hear anything around or whatever. But I will just tell you that has been greatly helpful for me in sort of getting a hand on anxiety and actually just feeling more confident in who I am and just enjoying, the privilege of being alive. So I just want to share that with you guys. And yeah, I can be a little woo-woo, but that's just who I am. So give it a shot and let me know how it goes. And also let me know if I can help you with anything. But I would just love to hear from you. And you can email me at any time. My email is shannon@shannongoode.com. And remember, good is with an E at the end. And you can also visit my website and email me from there. And that is goodhair, GOODE, hair.com. And we are bringing out the Bridal Business Bootcamp for salons and freelancers, and we only have a couple of spots open, which is super exciting. We were only able to take a limited number of people because of the investment that we are making in our clients and with time. We are flying to you and into your salons and just giving you intensive hands-on workshops and helping you to build your business from the bottom and just really solid. So absolutely look up the information on that and let's talk. So connect with us. All right, have a great day. Thank you for listening to the Good Hair Podcast. If you love the show and want to stay connected, go ahead and hit subscribe to be notified when new episodes drop. Also, if you're loving the show, we greatly appreciate reviews. Please take a second to leave a review. Leaving a review helps support the show. It lets us know we're doing what you love and gets the message out to other listeners. If you want to get your bridal business kickstarted, visit our website at goodhair.com. That's GOODEHAIR.com for your free guide to finding your niche. Hope to meet you soon and talk soon. Have a great day.